Attention, everyone! The Priest Isaac's Institute of Holistic Knowledge is inviting you to join us in September for the African Union CARICOM Summit in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Sign up for the 3-day package and be a part of the AU CARICOM Summit, plus take in all of the sights of Addis Ababa, the new flower. Or you can opt for our 9-day cultural national tour, and that will engulf sites like Lalibela, Aksum, the Simeon Mountains, and much more. Transportation, accommodation, and your meals all included. So contact us now and reserve your spot. Email us priestisaacinstitute@gmail.com or visit our website priestisaacinstitute.com. Ethiopia. See you there. Aten is the father of monotheism, meaning the worship of one God. So before Akhenaten, we used to worship, or people used to worship, many different gods, as was seen again in ancient Egypt. Because when you talk about many gods, ancient Egypt comes to the forefront. The gods of Egypt, you don't know how it goes. All right. So the idea was that this brother came and did away with all the gods' business. You following this? And he brought in one God, the Son. Now, what is interesting is that the Son was always there. Because you see, the God Ra would carry the Son. The Son was Ra at the same time. Because at the same time, you see the Son on the head of several deities. And this Son represented the Creator. Ra as a figure is very similar to Heru. In fact, Ra looks just like Horus. Okay. And Sokar as well. In fact, they're one and the same. All of this is just a science. But of course, Horus has the specific crown, the double crown, while Ra has the sun on his head. Follow this good. And you need to take note of this. You will notice that Ra has a snake over the sun. Look at it here, the snake over the sun, but we're looking at it from a side angle. We're looking at the snake over the sun from a side angle. All right, very good. What is interesting is that the sun disk of Akhenaten also has a snake, very similar to the snake that we see on Ra. But this snake now is looking towards the viewer, while the other snake was seen from a side view. If you look at it here, that's it here. But when you look at the serpent on the Aten, which was created by Akhenaten, you see the serpent looking from looking to the viewer, looking straight at the viewer, I should say. So obviously, it's the same thing from a different angle. Let me repeat. It's the same thing from a different angle. The arms coming down now, representing obviously the rays of the sun. And with the ankh, the brother didn't throw away the language and the symbols, as ones may want you to think. No, it would have just appeared to those who do not comprehend. It would have just appeared as if he just, man, we don't need Amun no more. Lock down the temple. We're just dealing with one God. Since when ancient Egypt, haven't dealt with one God? What does one God mean? People that talk about one God will tell you clearly, about the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, and they tell you the three of them is one. Okay, so is one God or three God? Is one God? Okay, exactly. All right, fair enough. Elohim. When you hear about Elohim, Elohim is like seven beings. Eh? Elohim is seven beings. But how much gods is that? It's seven gods? No, Elohim is one God. The concept of God is beyond, like a figure by itself, man. Come on, man. Don't tell me you don't understand that. Eh? I mean, the concept of what we loosely call God, because we're using loose terms here, this the intelligent nucleus is something that is beyond some mass, size, weight, color, and volume, even if the God is within that matter and mass that you're speaking of, but yet still it's beyond that. So my point is that we have always had the one God concept, whether you see several beings or not. This is not religion here. We always considered that there again is an intelligent nucleus. All of what you're looking at here is an expression of the same one God. In the same way that prophet and priest and king is an expression of the same one God. Just like father and mother of creation is not two different gods, although they're two different beings within themselves, and one is God and one is goddess, and he is a God, and yes, he is a God too, and so is he, and we are all gods, but it is one God. So you cannot tell me that we didn't understand this in ancient Kemet with all the heights and science that was available. So I'm saying that Akhenaten, when he moved the capital to Tel El Amarna, the Akhet of Aten, and he brought in the Aten, number one, it wasn't necessarily the beginning of monotheism, and he was not discarding, I'm going to prove everything, and putting away the ancient tradition of those that came before him. And this is an outlook of the ruins of the city that we built, the Akhet Aten, in the area known as Tel El Amarna. And this is, if you want to say, like a reconstructed digital version of exactly what would be taking place there. And of course, the great Akhenaten was quite different in many ways. And we'll get to some of that right now. But one of the things that is interesting is that from our knowledge, at least at a specific time, you would have those that dealt with the ceremony. They were the ones, the high priest, and I would expect the king at specific times, they would go in and deal with the statue of Amun. And the faithful ones would be outside and they would be worshiping as well. But it is said in the time of Akhenaten, what he did, he built a temple that was in a courtyard, and it was external as well. And everyone would be able to draw near. And there was service 3 times a day. In the morning, the rising of the sun, at noonday, and at the setting of the sun in the evening time. And the hymns to Aten would be sung, which is very similar to specific psalms that are in the Bible, even word for word, and we've done programs on such. But at the same time, it was an outdoor ceremony, not indoor, and all the people could attend and give praises to the Aten. You get it? So everyone could attend. So Akhenaten now himself giving praises to the Aten, the glorious Aten. The Aten is worthy to be praised, Akhenaten. And then the Akhet Aten, which is the horizon of the Aten. Now, he himself, in his outlook and even his presentation, was considered to be very different from those of the kings before him, the ancient kings of Kemet. And you could look at his figure, his form, his lips, his nose, his eyes. There was something a bit different about Akhenaten, his neck, his physique, even his body, his legs, his hips, his tummy. There's something outstanding about him, to the point that these Egyptologists and archaeologists, as they are referred to as, many of them tomb robbers, and we will get to some of that. I hope everyone is all right. This is an international online lecture, definitely given by the Priest Isaac's Institute of Holistic Knowledge, and we're very thankful for your presence with us as we view the great Akhenaten with his wife Nefertiti, and celebrating life and love with his family, his daughters. And this is one of the outstanding features of the great Akhenaten. He was seen as an individual that was very affectionate with his family, with his wife, and with the young ones, which is something that you would not have seen at all throughout the ages on the whole expression of the kings of Kemet. So, attention everyone! The Priest Isaac's Institute of Holistic Knowledge is inviting you to join us in September for the African Union CARICOM Summit in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Sign up for the 3-day package and be a part of the AU CARICOM Summit, plus take in all of the sights of Addis Ababa, the new flower. Or you can opt for our 9-day cultural national tour, and that will engulf sites like Lalibela, Aksum, the Simeon Mountains, and much more. Transportation, accommodation, and your meals all included. So contact us now and reserve your spot. Email us priestisaacinstitute@gmail.com or visit our website priestisaacinstitute.com, Ethiopia. See you there.